The Invercargill City Council has this week approved $40 million in funding to reinvigorate arts and culture in the city. That news comes a little a month after Southland Museum and Art Gallery was forced to close due to earthquake risk, a move widely condemned by the city's residents. Supporters of the new spending say it will lead to a renaissance of arts in Southland, but critics say it shouldn't be a matter of one or the other, and the museum should stay open. In the meantime, here's our Otago Southland reporter, Timothy Brown.
When I meet Cherie Chapman outside the closed Southland Museum, dark clouds are forming overhead, a metaphor perhaps for the mood of the residents following the closure. Ms Chapman is one of a small but growing band of residents leading a protest against the council for closing the museum. They say legislation allows it to remain open, but the council has ignored that option.
I think it's appalling that we can't open the museum now. I do not understand, and none of us do, why they haven't reopened the museum, given the legislation allows them to do that. And it's disappointing that this council has decided that they're going to keep the museum closed and drip feed money into it, and eventually in 5 years open it. I don't think that's good enough.
Following the closure, the council has moved forward its planned redevelopment of the museum, and this week also approved funding for the Living Dinosaurs experience to house the facility's tuatara. It will also fund an arts centre and redevelopment of Anderson Park, the city's art gallery, which closed in 2014. But Ms Chapman says the museum should remain open while the other facilities take shape. Ms Chapman says the council has lacked leadership on arts and culture for too long, and it might cost them their seats in next year's election.
Do you see this having a massive blowback for the council?
I do. I know that some senior members or long-term Invercargillites are really angry, people who are in head of organisations, and they're saying, what on earth is this council doing? It will have a huge backlash.
But Invercargill's long-serving mayor, Tim Shadbolt, welcomes the challenge.
Protest is a privilege and a delight, and just part of that decision-making process, and I see it very positive, and that if those people run for council or for the mayoralty, good on them, and they will then face the ultimate test of whether their ideas represent the masses of the people or not.
He says the council's plan is ambitious and will address the imbalance between sport and art in the city and result in complete change of the city's heritage landscape in the next decade, including a redeveloped museum.
The ultimate vision is a new facility in a decade?
Yes, definitely, yeah. And several new facilities. So we're looking at a real renaissance in terms of the arts in the city, and I think we'll be able to achieve it.
The plan has been welcomed by Venture Southland. The organisation believes arts and culture will also help bring tourists from Invercargill's doorstep in Fiordland and Queenstown to the city. Venture Southland's General Manager of Tourism, Events and Community, Bobby Brown, says it is exciting for the city and the wider region.
These projects that the council, Invercargill City Council, is supporting are essential. So it's just awesome the council's got behind it. It's awesome that they're partnering with their community. I can't say how much more positive I am about it. I feel like it's a very exciting time for Invercargill and Southland.
Development of the facilities will be staggered, starting with the Living Dinosaurs facility in Anderson Park in the 2019-2020 financial year. Work on the museum will begin in 5 years' time. In Invercargill, for Checkpoint, Timothy Brown.